Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. Under 20, well under 20, even under 50, because that's how I'm going. Well, I mean, I'm just so shallow that every now and then I don't really have a video inside of me, but I'm dressed. And so I want to impress you. I've got on my Guy Harvey fishy turtle shirt today. It got a lot of nice compliments in AA, and I tell them I bought it at West Marine, and they're always like, isn't that where you go for a paddle board? Yeah, but I snuck in there and got a Guy Harvey girly, long-sleeved, because of the arms, shirt that is like made of that UV protectant. So anytime I can wear it in the summer, I'm just gonna. And today I am on the nationwide circuit to return my Mountain Valley returnables and my San Pellegrino returnables, and one store doesn't take glass and the other store doesn't take Mountain Valley. And, you know, it's like, really? I'm glad I work overnights, because I don't think I'd be returning bottles at 2 in the morning, but I could be working at the jail at 2 in the morning. So, this is kind of fun. I have a date planned in September, and it's with somebody that frequently comments on this YouTube channel. How exciting is that? She's coming to the Cape for a conference, and she will be right around the corner. And it's a place that I was night auditor. At that point, it was a Sheraton. Now it's not. Now it's privately owned. And it's a business and conference center, you know, so they have big groups all the time. And so I used to work there overnight. So it's less than a mile from my house. So we're going to meet there like on a morning break. It's just going to be time enough for a hi and a hug and a look-see. And so I'm so excited about that, because it's so rare that I get to meet turtles, pickles, and snowflakes in my own little hometown of Hyannis. Kennedy's? Yes, I see them in all of those places that, yep. I see them in places that like get reported on the news. Yeah, that's how it rolls. And so anyway, yeah, so I get to meet a turtle, a pickle, and a snowflake. It's so exciting. So I have just been listening to a woman, and I can't really tip my hand yet, but I will soon. And this woman is a doctor. She's a doctor. And I think she's Harvard educated. So she is like cream of the cream, right? She is a woman, and she knows her food, her nutrition, her woman's psyche, and all of that kind of good stuff inside and out. And she is what I would call a life changer, for sure. Just listening to her voice in a podcast, and I'm kind of transformed. It's like, and I'm going to listen to it twice, and there's a reason for that. But so I've been listening to her while I've been doing my errands and getting ready for work and doing food prepping for tonight's meal, and so it's been fascinating. And she talks about just the female, the psyche, the whole deal. And because she's a psychiatrist, she gets women sitting across from her frequently. And she never approaches them about their weight, even if they're obese. And it seems like it's going to be the presenting problem once they get through the, hi, how are ya? And she approaches them in such a lovely, gentle way, with no judgment, no shaming, and not talking about weight. And she says to them, how about we run a few blood tests and just see where we're at with that? Now, you can tell looking at a woman across from you, if she's got a midriff, she's got insulin resistance, if she's overweight, there could be a food addiction issue there as well. But if she's overweight, you know that she's plagued by it. And even though we go, ha, 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 and we're smiling and jolly and everything else and saying, I'm just going to be a fat grandmother, that's all I'm going to be, we really don't want to be. But some of us have thrown in the towel and said, I'm done. I'm just done with this whole thing. I finally made it to 65. I've retired. And I've also retired from that rat race of fitting into things, losing weight, all the office things with women and bowls of candy and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go take care of myself. I'm going to go join a gym. I'm going to take walks. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to just enjoy life. And I'm going to drop all that weight. And it doesn't happen, because what happens is they're probably adjusting and they're home more, maybe, or their significant other is home, and that causes stress and food issues, and his stuff that you're squinting at, and your stuff that's like it's plan B and it's not half as exciting as his stuff that you're squinting at, because you've watched me enough to know that we all have to live in the same house, so we have to practice squinting. And so anyway, so she tries to approach it in a non-threatening way, very gentle way, and says, how about we run some laps? And she will kind of get, she'll kind of ask the probing questions, because she's a psychiatrist and she can, figure out how to approach it. The kind of probing questions that will render tons of information about this woman in front of them before really hearing about it. She said there's no need to ask them what they're eating. You can kind of tell. I mean, she can say that. I can't, but she can. And so, she kind of gets the picture early on of the person, the female, their esteem, their size. And she says, so taking, getting them to agree to some labs is going to be very, very, very insightful for her as a woman that works on the nutrition of the female that wants to lose the weight. And so she can tell. And so I have not finished the interview yet. I've still got like 20 more minutes. But, I'm assuming that she leaves them with a little bit of homework for the next week. Like, hey, do you drink diet soda? How about if you give that up for a week? Just to start introducing them into it. And she talks about the people that she's run into in life, and they don't even know what nutrition is. They don't have a clue. I see these people all the time in my AA meeting, and because I'm there for an hour and I get to observe bodies, as well as listen to them and hear either addiction or shame or, how they dress. And, it's funny because some people dress in shame. Like, I'm fat, I'm old, nobody's going to look at me, so I'm going to just cover myself in shroud-like stuff so nobody even sees me, and I'm just going to evaporate into the walls. I'm just going to become invisible. And then you see the other women who are like close to 50, and they're dressing like, they just came off the street, and it's time for their meeting of recovery. And then later on tonight, they'll go back and they shouldn't be wearing those clothes. So it's just kind of funny how it's like, look at me, and then there's the don't look at me. And both could be around shame and weight and feeling powerless over doing anything about it. 12-step meetings like AA are great for staying away from the drink. But once you've been around for a while, you learn that there's more to staying away from the drink than just staying away from the drink. It involves feelings and emotions and patterns and timelines and undoing maybe decades of harming yourself with things that like your body doesn't really want or need, and just the self-loathing and all of that sort of stuff. And so this woman just kind of opened that door for me to once again look at that and feel that. And, I always encourage people to give up the fake, the chemical, the things that just aren't healthy for them, and move into a more nourishing way of eating. And some still resist, right? And it's funny because it's like there's insulin resistance in here in our body, And then there's the head resistance where it's like, you can't tell me to give up my diet soda or my flavored syrups in my coffee or my, what else do I see? Or my keto-fied foods, right? And so, no, I can't make them. And, I'm not going to make them. I'm just trying to, when I do the food coaching, encourage them to see that every bite that they take and put into their body is to nourish them, is to heal them from the inside out. And that's also emotionally healing from the inside out. You know, one lady that I like a lot that's here, she said, I was watching her podcast and she said something about Sarah talking about organic lettuces, and she treated herself to a couple of tubbies of organic lettuces. And that made my heart melt, to think that like she's going to start taking care of herself with the nourishing foods on the inside. And it's a step. It's a wonderful, wonderful step. And the more you make those decisions about what you're going to put into your mouth and into your body to nourish yourself is going to cause that chain reaction of more nourishing things that you're going to choose to just love your body. You won't be able to detect or track or, do scientific experiments about giving up artificial sweeteners and diet sodas and keto-fine food. It's not like you can, take a drop of blood and get a readout and say, yeah, there, see, yeah, that makes a difference. But it's like saying to yourself, you know something? I'm 48 years old and I've been having crappy stuff even in keto. And I'm going to make that decision today to not do that. I'm going to make that decision to just eat nourishing foods, maybe grass-fed meat, maybe organic vegetables, maybe buying a really good extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, or my favorite, macadamia nut oil. Just buying these precious, special foods. So when you walk into your kitchen and you see organic coconut oil, organic extra virgin olive oil, or my organic ghee that sits over in another area of my working kitchen, and you see these things and you go, wow, I really have some wonderful, wonderful, special keto foods here. Why am I turning around and going over there and buying a bottled salad dressing that's still made with canola or soybean oil? Why am I doing that? She talks about it all the time. In fact, that's when I go and get more coffee because she's so annoying about it. But what happens when you start doing that? Those, when I said the other day in a video, be the change. I guarantee you that probably everybody that you live in your household with isn't saying, how about treating yourself to that organic olive oil instead of just the regular olive oil that could be loaded with GMOs? I mean, the best sometimes that we can do is buy with the little no GMOs, sticker on the front of something because the organic might not be available. That's what I find with my macadamia nut oil. And maybe it's grown in a place where they don't have GMOs and it is organic. They don't have to say organic because it's like everything that comes out of that country could be. I'm sure it's grown in a warm climate. So once you start doing that and you look around, I said in another video, it could be like how you used to feel about shoes and pocketbooks. And now you're looking at like, I've got 2 packages of Kerrygold in the fridge. I've got organic heavy cream in the fridge with no carrageenan. I've got organic tubbies of lettuces to have. I've got grass-fed beef in my fridge that I'm going to cook today. Like today is my Tuesday taco salad. I'm having grass-fed beef, 85/15, and 6 ounces of it. And that's the meat that's going into the taco salad. And you start looking around the kitchen and you start saying, wow, I'm really beginning to get this. I am becoming fully immersed. And then you go over to your pantry and you start tossing these items that you use to ketofy, I don't know, desserts or breads, and they're filled with artificial ingredients and artificial sweeteners and stuff like that. And you're saying, where's there's no nutrition in this. This is what she's talking about. This is what she's been going on and on and on about, and I don't listen to that part. And suddenly it's starting to make sense. Wow, I'm not going to buy those things to ketofy things. I'm not going to buy those things that have all of those chemicals inside of it, and who knows where it came from. And yes, it might qualify to be approved by the USDA when they come and do their inspection at that lab or that factory. But is that helping me, a human body? Or is it just passing the rigorous testing of the USDA? Doubt it. So that's what I'm here to talk about today, just the little mini upgrades. And when that woman commented on her video that she bought some organic lettuces, I was so tickled. I was so tickled I turned pink, just like I am today. And so loving yourself is a non-scale victory. You know, when you get to that place where it's like, I've got $5 and the organic tubbies, the big ones, are on sale at such and such a store. And I might be at this store, but I'm going to drive across town and get that tubby of organic lettuces for $5. Why? Because instead of buying bags of gassed, GMO'd, non-organic lettuces, why not buy the organic lettuce? You know, you're going to change your palate up when you start eating better, when you start letting the artificial sweeteners and diet sodas and the artificial syrups go to the side. You're going to start developing a different palate. You're going to get away from having to have a sweet keto diet, a sweetened artificially keto diet, to having a savory diet where something is rich and savory and buttery and fatty, grass-fed, and, you know, just the delight of the crunch of the organic lettuces with the high-grade quality oils. Same thing with coffee. You know, I buy organic, good coffees to have. Is the $1 or $2 going to break me? No. I like having that because I know that they're paying attention to the mold. Dave Asprey from Bulletproof Coffee taught me that when he talked about like the mold in coffees, how the beans sit in those canvas sacks on boats for months. That's even before they get to the roaster, and they could have mold all the way through them. And then you're buying these mold infused roasted ground coffee, you know, and it's like, you don't have to do that. Just, you know, and when you have something that's high quality, organic or no GMO or grass-fed or something like that, and you look at your foods and they become precious, you're not tossing stuff in the garbage anymore. You're not spending $15 for something that's CRAP. You're treasuring that item, and 4 ounces of that you are going to enjoy every single bite. You know, think of like how they talk about the French women, how they can have all of that stuff. Well, I can't have their grains and their desserts and things like that, but how they're still tiny after all those years, like a Katharine Hepburn, tiny, 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 and they enjoy the elegance of the best of the best. And it doesn't have to set you back. You don't double your food budget being on keto and having the best of the best. You begin to become satiated with the best of the best fats and oils and grass-fed and really good coffees and heavy whipping cream with no other ingredients in it than the heavy cream. Things like that. And the great butters. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You know, these are the things that growing up in the 50s and 60s as a fat little girl, you know, I would like be repelled by a wonderful butter or oil. You know, I was having those awful, awful margarines, and I was having, you know, just disgusting things like Tab and who knows what else before I ate the can of frosting, of course. Yeah, we all get here. We all get here on the wings of victory with our food choices, right? So, take care, my pickles, my snowflakes, and my turtles. You can get better, weller, healthier, happier, and more content a day at a time. Stick with me. It's going to work. Turtles, snowflakes, and pickles. We get here, we stay here, we get better a day at a time, and we celebrate our day every day. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your viewing. And if you need that one-on-one, there's always ketocoachingsarah.com for that one-on-one about behaviors and food choices and how to get macros and how to get that healthy skill set of tools so you're not doing crazy stuff with your food because it's like, well, somebody else, some, 200-pound man with no shirt on told me I don't need to count them. Okay, how's it working for you? Well, if it's not working for you, come on over here. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.